Okay, there's a trick here that I seem to never remember. Okay, the trick is we don't go through all this. Although what I did here is going to hold up, okay? We can make an assumption, but making an assumption at this point doesn't get the job done, okay? And I don't see a way to rescue this, although there probably is. I want to think that I'd have to sit down and play around with it and have a little bit of luck, okay? So what we're going to assume is that this plus this is 0. That's the assumption we're going to make, okay? So over here we're going to assume earlier assume this. Now what that does, among other things, is we never get a U1 double prime, because now YP prime, which equals just this. Okay? Now you still don't know, I still haven't explained why I can make that assumption. Just we can add a constraint because it's a second order equation, but that doesn't necessarily explain it. So just accept that for now. We want to just see how the algebra works out. Okay.
At least one dies, right? You've got to walk through it this way. At least one means one or...
So now YP double prime equals U1 prime Y1 prime plus U1 Y1 double prime plus U2 prime Y2 U2 double prime Y2 prime. No, U2 prime Y2 prime plus U2 Y2 double prime. Okay? Now everything, none of this affects the fact that what we have here includes this, this, and this. You can write it out and see. So if you just understand that if we pull out everything that's a multiple of Y1 double prime plus BY1 prime plus CY1, it'll be there, and it'll still be this. You're going to have, you still have these terms, okay? So I'm not going to write all that down, but you still have those terms, so this still happens, and all you're left with is the terms here, okay, that don't include now a U1 double prime or a U2 double prime, because by making this assumption, those U1 double primes and U2 double primes go away. All right. So after using that, we simply end up with, gotta look at it again, this term and this term add up to GT. I've got to look back to make sure what I just said is right. Because actually, we're just going to get a U1 prime, Y1 prime, and a U2 prime, Y2 prime.
Or the ones you wrote in purple.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm losing track. Okay, we're not going to get this term, we're not going to get this term, all this is going to be 0. So we do end up with this. Yeah, that works. That doesn't work.
You see where he's
Okay, I'm looking at too much stuff. I'm going to look at what we get. Actually, it is what I thought.
What happens to you right now? Maybe it might just be
Shortest way to drive, one state capital, next, to the drive hall. I mean, originally, they were gonna have to slow down.
Okay? So, yeah. I wasn't believing what I was seeing. Okay, so what we end up with then is the simultaneous equations, two simultaneous equations in U1 prime and U2 prime. Okay? This one and this one that we originally assumed. Okay?
Let me know if that's what ends up happening.
Okay? What are the solutions of that equation? Well, the equation can be written as a matrix equation.
First, what are you going to for the very first one? Most of the others are all on the
Just pre-calculus level set of system of equations, you just multiply by the inverse matrix. How do you know that the matrix is invertible?
because it's because it's linearly independent.
Well, go back to its determinant. Its determinant is non-zero. How do you know its determinant is non-zero? Because this is the Wronskian of a fundamental set. Okay? So you have this. So now you can solve for U1 prime and U2 prime. Solve for U1 prime and U2 prime. You hold your breath. And see if you can integrate these expressions. Now, how does that apply to the equation we started with? Again, I'm out of board space, but you can do it. So what it comes down to, let's just go back to this equation that we started with. Okay? You have your Y1, your Y2. Write out this matrix. You can invert it. Multiply it by this, and then you'll know what U1 prime is and what U2 prime is. Okay? Now you can use clumsier methods. You can try to do it by elimination or something. You write out this system of equations. Okay? So, go ahead and write out the system of equations that apply to this situation. See if you can solve them without inverting the determinant. You can easily invert the determinant. Just switch a couple of things and change a couple of signs. It's a 2 by 2 determinant, right? Okay? So we know that we can easily write down the inverse, and if it's a bigger determinant, we can run reduce and all that stuff. Let's see what you get.